Hey guys, welcome to Story Time, part 18. When I was a correction officer, DC jail in Lorton. Let's get into it. Okay guys, this one here is a little serious. I'm going to go ahead on and share this with you guys. So, me and an officer had to cut an inmate down from hanging himself or trying to hang themselves. Let's get into it. So, it was towards the end of our shift. And when you're a correction officer, like I said, over at the jail, it's always usually 3 officers in the unit. But sometimes when they short staff, it may be 2 officers in the unit. But in this particular, with this particular incident, it was 3 officers in the unit. So me and a male officer, we had to do the evening count, the last count. And this is when, because we got off at this time, I'm working 4 to 12. So I think that we used to call the inmates in, like control center or call over the intercom and say, count time. And so you get all of the inmates in and, whatever. And this particular day, me and the officer, we was preparing to do our count. So the male officer was in front of me and I was behind him. So when they count, it's no specific. Like I just go behind, he count, then they would have a backup count. I was a backup count. So as we count, we get to like maybe cell 10. Now mind you, I can't recall how long after after we locked him down, but it wasn't very long because usually when we locked him down, we headed to start doing our counts. Once that we see that panel, everything is closed, we get ready to do that count. And we were doing our count, and I think when the officer got to maybe cell 8 or 9, he was like, code. He was like, call a code, hang it. And I'm like, oh my God. He was like, officer, whoop-de-whoop, go get the emergency kit. It's like what they taught us when we was in the academy. It's a hanging kit. It's like a hanging. It's like a knife. It's shaped like that. It's got a hook on it, and I had to run down to the back to the bubble. The officer handed me the kit. When I opened it, I pulled out the knife. Now, mind you, we had to make sure that the cell, she had already popped the cell, and so the cell was popped. So he was in there, and when I got there, he was holding the inmate up, like so that he could breathe. And when he was holding the inmate up, I had to go in there and I had to step on they have like a little desk and then they have a little stool. And I had to step on a metal stool and I had to take that hook that they use for hanging. It's really, truly a hook to cut an inmate down if you catch them hanging. And I had to pull it. And I did it, and he fell in the officer's arm and laid him down. By this time, the code came and the medical team came. Everybody came. It was crazy, and I never seen nothing like that before in my life. To witness a person actually trying to kill themselves, it's just different. It's just different. Like that really kind of messed me up too, because I was like, what happened? What happened like to make him want to kill himself? And he didn't appear, and he had been on the unit, so I've seen him a lot of times. He didn't appear to be like one of those inmates that would do bodily harm or wanted to end his life or anything like that. But see, the thing is, we got him to the infirmary, and then after we got him to the infirmary, and they sent him over to DC jail. Back then in the 90s, DC jail. Not DC jail, DC General Hospital. If you was officer back in the 90s, that's where they used to go, DC General Hospital. And once he got over to the hospital, they kept him for a couple of days or whatever like that in observation, and then they brought him back. But when he came back to the jail, they had to put him on a psych unit because he has some issues going on. And I never really found out what made him try to end his life, because he didn't come back on our unit. But like I said, that Southeast 2 was no joke. And you had the worst of the worst inmates in there. So anything could have happened. I never found out really what happened. But when he was released from DC General Hospital, they immediately took him to South 3 over at the jail. That's the psych ward. And yeah, I actually had to help. And I had to cut an inmate down from trying to end his life. So yeah, stay tuned for the next story time.